Professional dispositions are attributes that all teachers should uphold within their classroom to make them successful teachers. These dispositions include high expectations, curiosity, compassion, fairness, respect, and dedication. Some of the professional dispositions that I have that make me a successful teacher are high expectations. I believe that all students can be successful. I believe in finding the students' interests and their abilities and creating lesson plans for those students. Another disposition that I have is respect for diversity. I love learning about other people's cultures, their mannerisms, their beliefs. And I believe that all students should be allowed that opportunity, and the classroom should embrace the students' diversity and their culture and different things like that. Another disposition that I have is fairness. I have a passion for children, and I believe that all children should have an equal education. That includes being fair within the classroom. You should not allow one student to do something but not the other student to do it. You should make sure that all tests and quizzes and assessments and activities fit with all the students' diverse needs within the classroom. Professional conduct is another disposition that I have that will make me a successful teacher. This includes relationships with colleagues and students. I believe that you should not have a relationship outside of the classroom with your students. There is a time and a place to be with your students and to get to know them, and that is within the classroom. The same thing with your colleagues. You should not have a professional relationship with your colleague outside of the school. You guys should be friends within the school, be able to work together, but anything other than that, I think, is a little extensive sometimes. I mean, granted, with your colleagues, you are going to make friends and you are going to have friendships within that. And yes, you could do those outside of the classroom or outside of the working environment. I think it's more the romantic relationships that need to be maintained with and not happen. Curiosity is another thing. I am a very curious person. I love to ask questions. I love to find answers. I love to research. It is something that I encourage within my classroom. I want my students to ask questions. I want them to be curious. I want them to want to learn. So if a student asks a question and I don't know the answer, I am going to find the answer for that student. Honesty is my motto, has been for my entire life. I believe that you should be honest with everybody. There is no room for lying. This includes being honest with your students. Granted, there are some things that children should not know or do not necessarily need to know. But I believe that if a student is struggling or if there is something going on, the teacher should be honest with the student and with the parents and allow them room for success. Compassion is one of those dispositions that every teacher needs to have to be successful. You have to be caring and kind to these students if you want to foster learning. They are not going to learn if you are mean and angry all the time. You have to be caring and you have to understand where they are coming from. Not all students are always going to be successful, and not every student is going to have a good day every day. You have to understand that and show them compassion. And dedication. I believe that above all else, a teacher should be dedicated. How are your students going to learn, and why are they going to want to learn if you are not dedicated, if you don't show that dedication, that passion within the classroom? You have to make your students excited to learn. It's just like curiosity. You want them to be excited. That's the best way for them to receive the best education. Some things that I need to grow on as an educator include individual assessments, individualizing lesson plans for students. I'm very general in my lesson plans, and I do think that I need to be more individualized for all students, to include all students within the lessons. Reflection is something that I have a very hard problem with. I need to work on looking at myself and being critical of myself and my lessons and learning to grow within that, taking my critiques and making my lessons better, making my assessments better, and being the best teacher that I can be. Advocacy is another thing that I really need to work on. I believe that every child deserves to have the best possible education and the best life, but I am a very soft spoken person. So, me standing up for something that I believe in is hard for me to do because I do not like confrontation. So that is definitely something that I need to work on and be more passionate about. There are so many expectations within the field of education. I think the key expectation is to always put the student first. We as teachers have to make sure that we are asking ourselves, what is best for the student? What should I do for the student? How can I help the student? And I will always make sure to do that and put my students first. I also think that as teachers, we definitely need to maintain a code of conduct, an ethical code, and make sure that we are doing the best that we can to provide our students with the best possible education.